Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you one of the most delicious ways to eat aubergines. I know on this channel I often explore recipes that are seemingly impossible to achieve being on keto vegan. That's part of the fun and I really enjoy doing them. But probably just like most of you, on most days I'm happily living on salad, vegetables, and a lot of nuts. So the aubergine dish I'm going to show you today will go on my list of staples that I'll happily eat at least once a week. So this dish is inspired by a dish from a local restaurant I go from time to time. So it's a Turkish style restaurant. They do falafels and stuff like that. And they have this amazing aubergine dish. So I've been recreating this dish using ingredients that are more accessible to me. So they turned out just equally delicious, if not more. And since then, it has become one of my staple dishes. So today I'm going to show you how to make it, and hopefully it will make it onto your staple list as well. So let's do it. So the ingredients you need. I say other than the aubergine, you probably would have the rest of the ingredients somewhere in your kitchen or your cupboard. So first of all, we need an aubergine. It's nice and plump. And then we need some pine nuts. We're going to toast them to bring out all the flavors. And then we need a cup of limes, or you can use one lemon. I have limes in my kitchen most of the time, so I'm using limes. And we're going to need a couple of cloves of garlic, and then some fresh parsley. And on top of that, we're going to need some tahini to create the tahini sauce to go on top. And then we'll need some olive oil, and then some salt, and some black pepper. And that's all you need. So the first thing we're going to do is to cut aubergine lengthwise in half, including the tip. So you want to wash and dry your aubergine thoroughly. So we're going to cut it through like this. So easy peasy. Now with each half, we're going to just make a few cuts in the middle, not all the way through, so the base is still connected. And the purpose is to allow the seasoning to go through properly, but also it's easier to eat afterwards. We're going to do the same with the other one. And now we're going to place them on a baking tray. So I've got a baking tray here that's lined with a layer of tin foil. And I'm going to drizzle it with a bit of olive oil, just a small amount. And I'm going to take my aubergine, just kind of rub the base slightly to spread the oil. I like to put them to the reverse side, just use up the space better. And on top of it, I'm going to drizzle more olive oil. The olive oil you need, obviously, depends on how big your aubergine is and how many. I want the olive oil to go in instead of each cut. It's kind of a nice way to up the fat content as well. So you want olive oil to kind of drizzle on top, but also go in each slit. So be generous. And on top, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt, just a small amount. It's seasoning, but also it'll help to extract the water content within aubergine to make it nice and tender. And then a tiny bit of pepper to taste. So the aubergine is going to a 230-degree preheated oven. We're going to roast the aubergine in fairly high heat for about 35 to 40 minutes. And while the aubergine is in the oven, we're going to make a really gorgeous tahini sauce to go on top. So I'm going to cut up the lime in half and put it aside. And I'm going to crush this garlic and then just cut it in small pieces. I'm going to turn it into almost like garlic paste. Okay, now I'm going to just transfer it to a little dish on the side. Okay, that's the garlic. Okay, now take a bowl and also a fork, and we're going to make the sauce. So I'm going to add the tahini first. So with the tahini, you would probably need about a couple of tablespoons. I tend not to measure it, I just eyeball it, kind of about this much. And then we're going to add in a tablespoon of olive oil. Again, the amount of oil varies, depends on how much sauce you're making. And then we're going to chuck in the garlic and add a bit of salt. We're going to taste it to see if we have enough salt. So you need to trust your taste buds. And then inside, we're going to squeeze in the lime we cut up earlier on. So we need the juice of one lime or half a lemon, and then have a bit of water ready. So we're going to whisk the ingredients in a bowl first and see how thick it is. And then we can decide how much water we're going to add. So it's thickened up a lot. So now we're going to add a bit of water and then whisk again. We want a consistency of thick salad dressing. Okay, I'm happy with the consistency, and now I'm going to have a quick taste to see if the seasoning is okay. That's pretty good. Okay, so that's our tahini sauce done. So it's about 40 minutes and just sizzling. So the surface is slightly crusty and golden brown, and the inside is going to be soft and creamy. Now we're going to assemble the dish. So I've drizzled some of this gorgeous tahini sauce onto the aubergine. The reason you didn't see that is because I forgot to turn the camera on. So there you go. Happens to the best of us. And yeah, you just drizzle it on top quite liberally, like that. So the next thing I'm going to put on top is something that I missed when I introduced ingredients, which is tomatoes. So the restaurant actually used pomegranate, but I find that pomegranate is harder to find, and also I can live without the flavor. I actually much prefer tomatoes, so I'm going to just sprinkle some of the tomatoes on top. So I just chop it in kind of small bits, and the color is beautiful as well. And on top I'm going to sprinkle some pine nuts. So these I have toasted in a dry frying pan until they're kind of golden brown, and then leave them to cool. Toasted pine nuts are so great. So I'm going to just sprinkle the pine nuts, the toasted pine nuts on top. It's such a great combination. And on top of that, I'm going to garnish it with parsley. So it's not just for the color, the flavor is incredible with the combination. And of course, it's beautiful. Okay, great. And just a couple of wedges of lemon or lime. And it's done. It's just such a beautiful color. I mean, just the colors alone just makes me happy. So there you go, that's the gorgeous aubergine. So I'm going to cut a slice just to show you. So that's when these little slits really come in handy. It just looks so good. And I'm going to just squeeze a little bit of lime on top. Oh, I always prefer limes to lemon for some reason, so there are always limes sort of rolling around in my fridge. Oh, can't wait to eat this. It's just so soft and creamy. Look at that. For me, I much prefer tomatoes to pomegranate. It's got that slightly sour and sweet flavor. And the tahini sauce is just gorgeous. I love sesame and the pine nuts as well. It's just such a wonderful dish and full of ingredients I love. So there you go. That's the roasted aubergine, Turkish style, I think. It's one of my favorite ways to eat aubergines. You can use the same method to cook courgette, zucchini, or squash. Everything tastes nice with tahini sauce, really. So it's a winner for me. So I hope you enjoy the recipe and you give it a try. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And thanks for hanging out with me today. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.